So in today's video, we're going to be talking about thermal sights, how to use them, how to be the most efficient with them, the appropriate keybinds that I have found to be incredibly comfortable, and how you would want to use them in War Thunder as well, especially at the higher tiers where they are currently present in. So with that being said, thermal sights. So just a little brief overview of the sights themselves. They were introduced in 1.91's Night Vision, which released back in September of 2019, making this update nearly a year old. So with that, much of the game has changed significantly, especially at the higher tiers, and even making some vehicles incredibly inefficient because they lack those same thermal sights, and even some other vehicles that have way more of an advantage because they have certain generation sights. Currently in the game, we have 3 types of thermal sights. Well, actually 4 if you count night vision. We have generation 1, 2, and 3. 3 is probably a little bit disputed here in War Thunder because I wasn't able to confirm anything. And there are very few vehicles that actually may have it, and even then, some people do dispute it. Mostly with the Japanese Type 16 and the CB9120, I believe. Though don't quote me on that. Feel free to let me know down in the comments below, guys, to correct me on that bit right there. However, we'll be talking about the 2 big ones, Generation 1 and 2 thermal sights, which are the most prevalent optics, or excuse me, sights in the game themselves. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So I went ahead and started off with the Declare because they have one of the most, I guess, powerful sights, as well as a CITV that has Generation 2 thermal sights. So if we take a look right here, turning it right on really quick, you'll see he lights up pretty well. So in about a few seconds now, he's going to pull back, and he's going to go hide in a dark spot to kind of give you an idea of how these play really well, especially in the actual gameplay. So now he's hiding directly in front of us, and in third-person view, it's a little hard to see him. I know exactly where he's at. Even if you go in gun sight, you can see his goofy eyeballs, but to the average player, they probably won't notice that, especially when scoping around the battle zone. But if you go ahead and turn on your night sights, or excuse me, thermal sights, you can pretty much pick him out very, very quickly. As you see right there, even doing a quick little glance over, you can immediately see that he is right there. As well as even if we go into Commander's Independent Thermal Viewer, which in this case it is a Generation 2 thermal sight as well, you'll see that we can also scan over and see him. But if we do have it off, it does make it just a little unusual to find him, even though he does have his goofy eyes right there. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Raph. You guys know him by the thumbnail, and you know him just in my previous video. So thank him for helping me out. Yeah. So this is another situation where thermals would really help us out quite a bit, because as you can obviously see, our buddy is currently hanging around. He has us in his sights. He's able to destroy us quite quickly. Now, I'm sure some of you guys are currently looking for him right now. He is in view. However, you can't really see him too well now. So if we go ahead and just take our optic right here and kind of look around for him, just do like a quick little sweep. I don't know if you saw him or not. I already saw him because I know where he's at already, but you probably didn't already see him. But if we go ahead and make the same sweep and turn on our thermal sights, again, this is Generation 2 thermal sights, you'll be able to spot him out right there. And there he is, and he is able to destroy us for sure. So with that, that makes the use of CITV and thermal sights incredibly powerful, because we were able to pinpoint where the enemy was through all these dense buildings. So that is the power of thermal sights, especially 2nd gen. Let's go ahead and switch over to some 1st gen thermal sights. So this vehicle that we have right in front of us is the M48 Super, which does feature a CITV, but it is Generation 1. So if we go ahead and switch it over just to the gunner sight, you'll immediately see it is Generation 1 thermal sights, and there's Raph kind of waving his machine gun at us. So as you can see right there, you can see the noticeable difference in clarity. I mean, it's almost significant. We're still able to make out some features. However, we're not able to make out the entirety of it because of the fact that it is a lower resolution video. As you can see right here, the CITV is also present. However, the CITV isn't present on every single vehicle. There's only a handful of vehicles that actually have this feature. The AMX-30 Super is one of those, thankfully, because, well, it's one of my favorite vehicles. So as you can clearly see, the resolution is way off. So with that, let's go ahead and do the same situation we had previously, where we just use this to spot them out from the buildings. So we have him in the same exact position as the previous test, where he can currently see us and he can knock us out. Now, I'm pretty sure you can't see him right here, because even I can barely see him, just even barely. So with that, he is hitting out there. So if I go ahead and just use my regular gun sight, I'm gonna go ahead and pan around just so you guys can kind of get an idea of where he might be hiding. So there we go. We're still going. We're still going. We're still going. Still going. So I don't know if you guys did see him or not. I kind of saw him because I kind of already know where he's at for the most part. But you can obviously see it's very difficult to see him with just the naked eye. So if we go ahead and turn on our thermal sights and make the same pass through again, you might be able to spot him this time. So let's go ahead and do that one more time. I don't know if you guys did see him already. I just saw him, so I'm pretty sure you did. So if I go ahead and pan over to where he currently is right now, you'll see he's actually right there. As you can see, it's very hard to tell. He is warm. He does have a kill shot on us, and he can hit us. So there we go. We did hit him. Didn't do anything. Wow. But he is right there. So that is the power of Generation 1 thermal sights. In Generation 2, we probably could have seen him just a little bit better. So with that, let's do something a little bit more different, something a little extreme. So this is probably a little extreme in my opinion. However, these kind of games do happen. This is Night Battle with standard rain, not even incessant rain, just standard rain. Now, if you guys can't already tell, he's looking at us. He's ready to kill us. He can definitely destroy us very quickly. So if I go ahead and just turn on non-thermal sights, as you can see right here, you can see that even with this on, you can kind of spot him now because of his goofy eyes. That is actually incredibly terrifying, is it not? Just imagine seeing that in the distance. So he's right there. If you didn't have his eyes on, you'll notice that you probably wouldn't be able to notice he was right there. He'd be able to kill us very quickly. Continue scanning through. Yeah. But if we go ahead and turn on our thermal sight, you can see immediately glows. I mean, he is clear as day. You can see him at distances beyond what you would normally see without the optic itself, or excuse me, the sight itself. So turn that back on again. CITV, it's even more clear. My God, that is absolutely terrifying to see. Seriously, if you saw it in game, wouldn't you just be like, what the hell is looking at me? That's that. So without getting distracted here, you can obviously see that is the power of Generation 2 thermal sights. Now let's go ahead and do the exact same thing with Generation 1. So I went ahead and brought out the AMX-30 Super, which is a premium vehicle that does feature Generation 1 thermal sights. Now we are going to turn on night vision really quick. It doesn't really help too much. It does intensify the night a little bit, but not too much, really, in my opinion. So honestly, they can do better with this. That's just me. So still, with that being said, if we go ahead and take a look at the side right there, you can obviously see his eyes peering through the darkness. My God, that's still terrifying. I love it. So yeah. Now, if you didn't have those eyes, it'd be pretty difficult to tell he was right there, even with zooming in. So outside of the silhouette. Anyway, so if we go ahead and turn on the thermal sight itself, you'll see he does glow quite as well, though it's a little more difficult to make out the features exactly, and it's kind of easy to tell when he is currently shooting at you because his barrel will start to glow. But honestly, it really won't help too much. So as you can see right there, Generation 1 thermal sights pretty much in a nutshell in a dark situation, but you can see how powerful the sights are in this kind of environment. I mean, honestly, just look at those differences. It's unusually good. So with that, let's go ahead and move over to a different situation. So one thing a lot of people just haven't really seemed to have noticed is the ESS, or use of ESS and smoke canisters. Now, if we go ahead and cue Raph here, he's going to go ahead and pop ESS. As you can see, we can't really see through it. So if I go ahead and just clear channel and look through the smoke, you can't really see through it until I do that. That's right. You can see right through ESS with thermal sights. That's something that really hasn't been talked about for some reason, so it's quite unusual. So if we go ahead and cue him one more time, he will pop smoke canisters, and you can see we cannot see right through it. So we can see through ESS just fine, just not smoke canisters, smoke grenades, or anything launched from the vehicle itself. Even smoke canisters from the mouse will block these for some reason. So yeah, you have that to look forward to and kind of plan around your engagements, especially when you are retreating and using ESS. Keep in mind that players can and will see right through it. So keep those smoke grenades handy, ladies and gentlemen. So in this bit, I'm going to show you how to actually bind the key and how to set it up so it's most appropriate for you. However, again, this is all personal preference. If you guys want to go ahead and kind of play around with it, you are more than welcome to it. Now, I have everything bound to one single key or a set of keys, which is the N key or Alt plus N. So just pressing N by itself, it does turn on my night vision device, and it also turns on my thermal sight, as you can see right there. But for convenience sake, I have left Alt plus N bound to change the color scheme of thermal sight, which changes it from white hot to black hot. Now, personally, I really wouldn't use this. In fact, I don't use this because it feels a little too heavy on the eyes. Again, it all comes down to personal preference. It just kind of hurts me a little bit personally. So going ahead, using left Alt plus N again to switch it back over to the white hot. So you can find this this control scheme over on your control section. If you just go over to weaponry, you'll see right down here night vision mode, as well as here we are changing the color scheme of the thermal sight, which is Alt plus N, or in my case left Alt plus N. You can also turn on your IR spotlight, which I do keep on the same key, which is left control plus Alt plus N, which turns on your IR light. Though in all honesty, you really don't want to use it too much because it gives away your position, especially if you're looking in third person view. You can obviously see the night vision sight or the IR light through your NV sights. So again, I really would not use that unless you know for sure the enemy team does not have anything that has night vision devices, which is really only, I guess, something that works with the T62 at 8.3, but then again, that's a really big stretch. Now, changing the color scheme of your thermal sights is very much possible as well. If you want to make things look a little bit more realistic, that's something you really want to look into. So to my knowledge, well, again, this is Generation 1 thermal sights on the M1A2, which is an unfortunate change-up, but it is what it is. So, again, I don't really know for certain if the M1A2 actually uses this color scheme, though we're going to go ahead and play with it anyway, because this can be used on any vehicle that you like. So if you go ahead and see right here, it is just white hot, kind of just like a gray background with just glowing targets, etc., right? So if we go ahead and go back to the same settings over in, I believe, options it was, yes. If you scroll down just a little bit and look for the color scheme of thermal sight, which is found over your main parameters, under your tank battle settings and helicopter battle settings as well, you can change this to a different scheme. So if we go ahead and do that really quick, you'll see it did change up quite well. And you can go ahead and do the same Alt plus N, and you will see white hot, black hot, etc. Now this is a lot more easier on the eyes for me anyway, so I would probably play with this just a little bit more. This is probably the best one too, in my opinion. Well, anyways, that being said, you can change that up too. Now, if you want to go ahead and say play Russia, you can do the exact same thing with red. That's right. Yes, you can play with red. Makes things look just a little bit more devious. Changing the color scheme one more time. Black hot, white hot, etc. A little heavy on the eyes too, but there it is as well. You can totally change that up. It does change it for the CITV as well as your gunner's sight. And you know what? On a personal note, it's kind of disappointing that US got Generation 1 thermal sights. But then again, that's just, I guess that's just Gaijin's logic. So we'll go with that. So moving on. So helicopters also share the exact same setup. Now, this only applies to the more modern helicopters, the Mi-28K, 52, some of the AH-1S series, the AH-1Z, the Glinks, and so on and so forth. Most of the modern helicopters will have this feature. So on the same keybind, which is N, I can turn on my night vision devices. But if I go into my gunner sight right here, you'll see I can also check it out right here, changing the exact same color scheme, same control setup. You can see Black Hot seems to work a little bit better in this situation, though then again, it's still a little heavy on the eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and switch that back over to standard. And in the actual pilot sight, you'll see he does get night vision as well, though then again, you can't really change it for anything, and it really won't help you too much, maybe in Sim, but then again, Sim doesn't really have night battles anyway, so take that as you obviously will. Now, there are a few factors that do impede the performance of thermal sights in War Thunder, and one of the biggest ones is actual monitor resolution from whatever you're using, be it a TV, if you're a console player, or if you're a PC player, your monitor resolution itself. Now, I know the majority of people like to run, I believe, 1080p, which does change up the visual, I guess, fidelity of the image itself on the thermal sight. I do run this at 1440p, so the sights might look a little bit more crispy compared to yours, though then again, I do run the game at maximum graphic settings. I mean, if we go ahead and take a look at that really quick, you'll see right here in the graphic setting, everything is pumped up to the highest it can possibly be, with the exception of SSAA because it just is very much unoptimized. So outside of that, you can see that we do run the game at all times at the max possible settings. So if you do notice a bit of difference in your thermal resolution, I guess, it would definitely have to be that right there, though. Then again, it varies from person to person depending on the level of graphics and the resolution itself. So another thing I want to go ahead and kind of cover really quick before knocking out the rest of this video is the usage of thermal sights. Now, I know back when they were introduced, you were supposed to use them more as a point of reference, I guess, to identify targets and definitely use it to pinpoint where targets are at and knock them out. However, in sim, it's a little bit more of an issue. In fact, it's a skill you definitely want to go ahead and develop where you're able to identify tanks by clearing the channel of thermal sights, seeing just through the standard, I guess, normal sight, and identifying your target prior to engaging, because especially in Generation 1 thermal sights, you really don't have that ability at distance, unfortunately. And that's probably where you'll be able to use it to the effect that I'm trying to get to, which is use it as a point of reference, keep your sights clear and engaged. Now, if you are running Generation 2 or even Generation 3 thermal sights, that really isn't too much of an issue because you are able to easily tell your targets from a distance. So again, your experience may vary. This was just more of an idea or a guide of how to bind the key set and use it most efficiently in War Thunder. So with that, I hope this tutorial did help you guys out just a little bit. Feel free to let me know down in the comments below whether or not it did help you, and I would love to go ahead and read those, and let me know what you guys would like to see next. Do you guys want to see how to use radar systems, perhaps how to bomb appropriately, so on and so forth? Feel free to let me know down in the comments below, guys. I do go ahead and read them. If you guys want to go ahead and see this type of normal gameplay live, you're more than welcome to check out my Twitch channel. Link is down in the description below, so feel free to check that out. And one more thing, a lot of people like to, I guess, comment is, do I rap? Absolutely not. I just talk really fast. Okay, I guess maybe not as fast as XQC, but then again, I actually speak whole words. If he sees this, I'm going to be in some deep trouble, aren't I? So anyways, with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for checking out the tutorial, and I'll see you guys not only in the videos or the streams, but in War Thunder itself. Until next time.